So the trade war is out there between the U.S. and China and a few other jurisdictions. But here on the continent is the new Continental Free Trade Area, which we have signed together, of course, which might help Africa position itself for the ongoing trade fight, but perhaps the next one, because when this is over, there will likely be another one. So how do we position the local industries and manufacturing sector across the, not just federal, but the state levels for the new AFCFTA, which President Buhari signed on last month? Let's take a listen to Dr. Ahmed Mansour, who is the president of the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, what he told his audience about what we need to do at the sub-national levels, the state governments, when it comes to getting ready to be part of the new AFCFTA. Take a listen.
It is indeed important that we continue to collaborate, to work together with government and all other stakeholders to continue to grow our economy, and especially to continue to grow our manufacturing sector. Because we do, I'm sure, appreciate that there is no economy in the world that thrives and succeeds without first building a strong, thriving manufacturing productive sector. And we know that today, economies that actually were much, much lower, much less strong than our own in the past have now overtaken us, largely because they have built the strength of the manufacturing sector over time. Whereas, for instance, our manufacturing sector contributes less than 10%, I think it's 8 to 9% of our GDP. Peer economies, such as Malaysia and Indonesia, and perhaps Brazil, are contributing between 20, 25, even 30% of their GDP coming from the manufacturing sector. So we must continue, we must collaborate, we must continue to partner to grow our manufacturing sector, because therein lies the availability of quality jobs that our people need, that this economy requires in order to get our people out of poverty. It is therefore an urgent necessity that the state governments that the government at all levels, states as well as local governments, as well as federal, do continue to work with the private sector in order to continue to strengthen and deepen and broaden the manufacturing sector of our economy. This is even more significant and more so now that our country has signed, along with 53 other countries, to open up the African continental economy and create a one strong market. And I have taken the opportunity at all fora in order to insist that our manufacturing sector must therefore rise up to this opportunity. Because indeed, whereas there may be some risks in this opening of the market for some of our sectors, for some of our industries, there are also tremendous opportunities. And I think our role is to work with other stakeholders, and particularly to work with government to ensure that we can mitigate those risks and scale up those challenges while actually focusing on what we need to do to achieve those opportunities. And indeed, there are opportunities because, to a large extent, this country is one of the few countries in Africa that has at least the building blocks to be the hub of manufacturing production in the whole of Africa. And it is my hope that all our members will take this opportunity, will rise up to that challenge, and that governments at all levels, at the state level, at the federal level, will collaborate with us, will assist us, will join us in this crusade to ensure that over the next few years, our manufacturing sector continues to grow and thrive. I just want to highlight some of the key things that the association at the national level has been trying to do in order to enhance the capacity of the sector to make the sort of contribution that we want to make, to create the jobs that we want to create. Over the past year or so, we have, as I said, tried to broaden the scope of the activities of MAN and its secretariat to ensure that we can do this. First, we have worked with government at federal level, and indeed, as we have heard from the chairman of the Ikeja branch, our branches have been working with the relevant state governments to ensure that policies are in place to create a more conducive environment for successful competitive manufacturing activity in the sector. At the federal level, of course, we have worked, for instance, with the Federal Inland Revenue Service to ensure that our taxation is harmonized, that some of the challenges that we face in the area of taxation, like multiple taxation and so on, are actually harmonized and streamlined in order to ensure that the trajectory for manufacturing is enhanced. For instance, there was a proposal to increase the value-added tax in recent weeks, and we had discussed this extensively with the IFRS in order to ensure that we don't. Because I think there are many other ways in which the government can increase its revenue without necessarily increasing the rate of taxation. We need and we can significantly expand the tax base by bringing more taxpayers into the net. And I think we know that this can be a very good approach because we have seen it from Lagos State itself. That when in the last few years, Lagos State concentrated on clearly expanding the tax base, the internally generated revenue of the Lagos State increased significantly. We believe that there is opportunity for this also to happen at the federal level and at all other levels of government. MAN is also engaging experts, particularly in the areas of economic growth, trade, areas of policy making, to ensure that we continue to work with the government to initiate and in place policies that will continue to strengthen our economy, to create a more conducive environment for investment and indeed for business. We will continue to engage the various agencies of government, particularly our regulators, so that regulation is doing what it is intended to do. Because economic regulation is not about revenue collection. Economic regulators are indeed supposed to nurture the sectors and industries that they are supposed to regulate. They are supposed to be midwives, helping to grow, to bring the baby to life and helping it to grow into a sound, strong individual.
The president of the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, Dr. Ahmed Mansour, talking about Nigeria's manufacturing and industrialization sector on the backdrop of the new AFCFTA. Let's take a break. We'll come back. The global trade fight is still there. Saudi Arabia is trying to poke up oil prices and a lot more in our commodities market update. Stick around, everyone.